I'm curious about that. Why is that changed? Why do you have to earn a respect?
I was
social media, I think just the day and age, I think the sensitivity levels are heightened. I think that a lot of kids struggle nowadays. I think, as a young kid, it was my responsibility to tell the coach if I was sick. It wasn't my parents' responsibility. My parents didn't call the coach. If I was going to go to practice, I had to do it. And now you look at it, it's like I'm getting calls from parents and texts and this and that. I'm like, no, that's not how it works. Your kid's got to text me, where they're going to have the tough conversations. And I just don't think the kids understand now. They don't know how to do the hard things.
Right.
They don't know how to communicate. They don't know how to talk to you. And I think that plays a part of it. So
do you think any of that stems from, we've had tons of conversations about young kids where they get burnt out in sports at 12, 13, 14, where you're playing, 8 games a weekend, every single weekend, or in terms of baseball for you. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's a huge deal that these kids have to perform at a high level at an age where sports should be fun.
Yeah,
almost. Right. Is that maybe a part of that?
Yeah, that's a part of it too. And you forget to add in too. It's all year round now.
There you go. Yeah, I was going to add that.
It's not just in season. It's all year round. Like
every sport, too.
Every sport,
every single.
Like obviously, with respects, like my number one is hockey. Now, obviously, not training anymore, but my knowledge is through hockey. And I look at these kids, they'll go through a season, they play spring hockey. I get parents text me what junior camps their kids should go to. They're doing that all summer. And it's like, at what point do they just sit back and take a break, right? They're doing on-ice skills, or they're practicing, trying to do the workouts. And this is all year round. Even in season now, it's like you got kids going to 5 a.m. skill practices, and then we're talking about 9-10-year-old kids, and then they're going to school, and then they're going to their practices after school. It's exhausting for them. I'm exhausted listening to parents talk about the schedules.
Right.
I'm always exhausted every time I hear the schedule too. Like just that list out of it too, because it's a D1 schedule.
Yeah.
When I would shadow with the Iowa State football team for a very short part of my first semester there, but that's literally what it was. They were 4 or 5 a.m. lift. Then you would go to class.
Yep.
Then you would come back for however many hours of a practice. That's a D1 athlete schedule.
Yeah,
that is not a 8, 10, 12-year-old schedule or something like that.
Right.
It doesn't make any sense.
Right.
Yeah.
Parents are just a little obsessive, and it's, and you can tell them all day, but, you ask a lot of I would say the top athletes around the world in their respective sports, they all say the same thing. I play different sports.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of your best athletes are, guess what? The best athletes because they played multiple sports.
Right.
Like if you got a good football player, I bet you he's going to be good at pretty much everything. Minus hockey. Obviously, hockey's a little bit different.
Hockey's a little bit different.
Right.
I bet he's going to be good at everything else he does. So it's, like I said, it's just one of those things where they just get so hyper-focused on just doing one thing. Okay, my kid's got to make it the NHL, 8 years old. This is what I got to do for him. And I tell them they're batshit crazy.
Right.
I don't lie to parents.
You have to. Yeah.
Right.
I'd rather your kid not come in. You go do all the other things you want to do, because I'm not going to balance this out just for that. So.
Right. Who's more competitive nowadays, kids or parents?
Parents.
Yeah.
Like without a doubt.
Without a
It's
doubt.
scary how competitive the parents are through the kids. Kids, even if you look at the NHL now, like if you look at the style of play, right? It's not as competitive. I think they're out to collect
it's
points.
relaxed.
Like it's so relaxed. And I think the NBA is the same thing. Like if even taking the, you take the whole LeBron, MJ comparison, right? I don't think they're comparable. I think LeBron's a better skilled player. I think he's a better athlete. MJ is a killer.
Yeah.
Yes.
Kobe was a killer.
Yeah.
The athletes now are not killers, and they don't have that in them. And I think that's the competitive aspect of, I swear on this, but like the fuck you mentality is gone. And you see it in the NHL 24/7.
Absolutely.